Good afternoon, everyone. It is the aging experts, and we have a friend on. She's a new friend, but a friend. We actually spent some time, the three of us, visiting, and I've spent time visiting with Terri, and she's got some really great things to share with us today. But in the meantime, we are the Mavens of Motivation, and we want to bring you different ways to not live out your life, hooked to tubes in a hospital, wasting away or just sitting, worse than that, sitting on the sofa, eating bonbons, watching soap operas, and not giving what you know back to the world. When you get to our age, you have things to give. Yeah, well, you have good things to give when you're much younger, but we won't go there. But we have things to give. We have things to share. And so many people think they're done, they're over with, and there's nothing they can do to give to the world. They're biding their time till they get to go home. Okay. So don't be that way. You want to live your life full out to the last minute.
Till the last minute.
So I'm Carol Henderson with Life by Design, and I help you to bring your life and spiral it up in the second half, especially all parts of it, but in the second half, you don't know when the second half will start. And I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Miss ABarbaraEllison.
Good afternoon, everybody. And yes, and welcome to the Aging Expert Show. We're here to tell you that aging, and I say this all the time, but I'm going to say it bears repeating. Age is a number. It's a number on a wall, number on a calendar. And we do not have to age. We have, yes, I take that back. We do have to age, but we don't have to get old. So that's where I'm at. I'm the founder of Wellness Playroom for the best version of you. So that I am working with baby boomers and Gen Xers to do just that, become the best version of themselves, whether it's in their mental acuity, if it's their physical body, or their financial security, financial freedom, just financial independence. We do not have to rely on government or pensions. We can be financially independent. So if that's something, like I always say, if that's something that you're looking for, hey, you know what? We're your girls. Connect with one of us. We all talk differently, but connect with one of us.
Yes.
Because we have the goods.
Yeah.
So anyways, we can get it done for you. So anyways, Terri, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, Carol and Barbara. I'm excited to be able to share.
Yeah. So tell us about you, a bit of your journey, how you got to be doing what you're doing. As a friend of mine says, your backstory.
My backstory. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, here we go. So basically, I was like many of us out there listening. I was raised in a dysfunctional family with parents that were alcoholics. I had a brother that was a bully, would always torment me. And then one thing I would always hear from my family is, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not intelligent enough. Oh, don't do this. They're going to think you're crazy and all this stuff. And then fast forward, when I was in kindergarten, I had a guy that named, well, let's say not, I'm not going to say his name. Let's just call him Jim, okay? Because you never know who could be listening out there.
That's true.
Yeah, and he came in the day that I went to kindergarten, which is supposed to be our freedom, our day of independence from our parents. And within 5 seconds, I'm not kidding you, he walked up to me and said, "Why does your hair look like it's been put in a light socket? Why does your clothes look like it came out of a dumpster?" And all kinds of other ridicules. So I grew up in school with that kind of mentality the whole way until we departed in high school. So it really definitely robbed me of my self-esteem and my self-confidence. And fast forward, when I was 27 years old, I thought I met the man of my dreams, only to find out within the 3 months that we were married that he had been keeping a very deep, dark secret. He told me that he'd been in the Marine Corps for 9 years. He was actually in prison for first-degree murder. And then yeah, after that, the world, my world just shattered like glass, you know, and that's, so basically after he knew his secret was out, then he started abusing me, punched me in the face, trying to break my bones. This is on a daily basis. And I got to the point during that time that I became a full-fledged alcoholic. He was holding my finances back, so I ended up having to start dealing in drugs to make some money, good money, to pay bills, because he's leaving me high and dry. And then 3 months into, 2 days after our divorce was final, he decided to come to my house and tell me that he wanted me back. And of course, I threw him out of my house. So that made me the strong person I am. That's the start of my journey to become the person I am today, because I was no longer going to let anybody treat me like a doormat ever again. And then 2 days after our divorce, then I was going to a shopping center. I was going to try to get some makeup and new wardrobe and so forth. And because I needed to raise my self-confidence, because nobody was in my family being the cheerleader I needed. And then this man approached me with a knife and walked me back into my car, and he attempted to rape me. I had a knife to my throat and my breast. And as a result of that, he drove me around the parking lot. I thought my life was completely over with. But ladies, I'm here to tell you that that day turned into one of the most beautiful days of my life. And I'll tell you why. Because as the security guard was coming down, the guy threatened me and he said, I just want to let you know, you make one false move and you're dead. And I was like, okay, saying to myself, okay, I've got to figure something out here. So that day is the day that I prayed to God, and I said, God, I don't know who you are. I don't worship you. I don't go to church. I don't read my Bible. But if you get me out of this situation alive, then I promise you, I will turn my life over to you the remainder of my days. Not more than 2 seconds, that knife was off of me, and he made me get out of my car. And then he told me I could do whatever I wanted. And so then next thing I know, I'm in the police interrogation room, and that's the end of that story. But anyway, 2 weeks later, they found him through a mug shot that I identified him in, and he was sent to prison for 30 years. And
Wow.
that now on top of that, the divorce, then this, that just took me over the edge, basically. And I became a hermit. Can't believe that now, but I had to become a hermit. And then on top of that, I just made a decision that my life was not going anywhere. It just wasn't. And so 3 weeks later, I was a waitress at a shopping center. Sorry, let me switch gears. I was a waitress at a restaurant, and there's a lady that came to my table, and then finally through the conversation, she says, is your name Terri Bracken? And I said, yes, that was my maiden name. She says, well, do you remember a Cindy Fowl that went to high school at North Central? I go, yeah, she and I used to party together. And then I was getting ready to go ask her to have a drink. Before that, though, I did not know that was her. And I said, yeah. And she goes, well, that's me. And I thought, oh, this lady's either had a facelift or she's had a complete transformation, and I want to know what's going on here. So I invited her to go out and have a drink when she invited me to her boyfriend's Bible talk. And the rest of that story is history, because now I've been walking with the Lord for 37 years. I'm a best-selling author of a book named Face to Face with God, My Best Friend. And that my best friend came as a result of that day that he saved my life. And so,
wow,
that's my journey. And now I'm just excited what I'm doing.
So tell us what you're doing now. What
I am good question, Barbara, Carol. I am a certified transformational coach, a national storytelling speaker, and I am a best-selling author, and I'm writing my second book right now, Transform Your Life to a Loud and Proud 10.
Yeah, that is so cool. Little did you know in that day. And I think that's the key. But you know what? You decided that your life, that experience was going to transform not only you, but you were going to use that as the story to get other people out of the same situations that you were in.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's the power of the story.
And
Yeah.
some
Wow.
people don't realize if you don't have a test, you don't have a testimony. If you
That's
don't have
right.
a test, you don't have a message.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, every one of us has a mess, but have we just
Yes.
followed in that mess, or have we turned it into a message to make
Yeah.
you know, we were talking on a call that we do this in the mornings, that Monday and Friday mornings that Barbara and I go on with a group of co-workers. I mean, we all have our own businesses, but it's, I guess,
We all
we
work
consider
together. We're
mastermind.
joint, yeah. We
Yeah,
all work together.
a prayer mastermind would be a good way to word that for this situation. But anyway, it's like what we do is like ripples in a pond, where it's our business or our faith. You throw that rock in the pond and it goes, and you don't know how wide that ripple's going to be.
Mhm.
Oh,
No.
that is
All
so
three
true.
of us stood on the side of my lake and threw a rock in. Well, if it was a smaller little pond, but you would see how our ripples start intersecting.
Right.
Mhm.
Have a nice
Exactly.
little pond, and you, if the three of us threw it in, they would all intersect and more and more and more and overlap. And there's enough
Mm.
room for everybody's ripple. And
Exactly.
so many people
Absolutely.
have competition. But
Yeah.
Barbara
Absolutely.
and I know
And
we like to have people on, and like people of like faith, like, not that everybody we have on is a born again believer by any means,
Right.
but that they want to improve the world.
Right.
Mhm.
They want to impact. I think one of our gifts is that we bring on people that do have that purpose-driven, impact-driven message, that they want to make it, that they want to have that ripple effect
Yeah.
in the world.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I did not have a vision to open a domestic violence organization back in Indianapolis. I really didn't. But
Right.
the funny thing of it was, I was doing a fundraiser for a domestic violence organization in Indianapolis, and I was trying to raise money. And that night, out of the blue, we normally have 50 to 60 people show up. I had 5. So I had four of my friends. I had 3 of my friends, and editor of a newspaper, and then the pastor of Sheltering Wings. And I was like, what is going on here? But then as a reminder, I said, God, you're up to something, and I don't know what it is. And I was
Mhm.
in my 50s. Okay. So
Right.
here the pastor sitting around the table, and he goes, after he told us the stats of domestic violence, and all 3 of my friends were survivors, myself and these women. And the pastor goes, there's a need for another organization like us on the west side of Indianapolis. I think your ladies, I believe you ladies are being called by God to do this. And we
Mhm.
all kind of looked at each other like, what did he just say? And so then
Right.
he looked at me. He never met me before in my life. And he goes, I believe you're being called to lead this, Terri. I go,
Wow.
well, I've always wanted to
Yeah.
open a pet shelter. So, long story, I'm a founder. I'm the one that built it from scratch along with my husband and a great team. And now we've served over probably 8 to 9,000 people.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to stop at age 50. And there's so many people, even listening to this call, that think that when they turn 50, their life's
Right.
over with.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And now I'm 67 years young, and I'm
Right.
still going strong. So
Yeah.
I want to take my mess, like you said, Carol. I want to take my mess, and I want to
Mhm.
keep being the messenger
Right.
out there to help
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the things that we do. Here's me. I mean, I'm in my 70s. I am more active now than I was 10 years ago. And just doing so many more things to get the word out there with podcasts and with, and I'm in the process of creating a course on mindset of that, the mindset of, like, that are the older, that are getting ready to retirement, and they think because they're retiring that they're retiring from life. You are not
Yeah.
retiring from life. You are
No.
retiring from your job. And
Mhm.
my .com is going to be beyond the job.
I think that is a
You know?
fabulous thing.
Uh-huh.
Fabulous thing. And we're running into so many people that we can
Yeah.
collaborate with, and collaborate means co-labor, but to collaborate with and expand what each of us is doing just more and more and more.
Yeah.
There is a need. And
there is a
I
need.
personally think there's fixing to be a much more intense need in the next few months.
Yes.
Some of the stuff comes out with the trafficking and with things, you know, I don't know if y'all realize it, but that movie premieres on the 1st. And what is the name of it? It's with Jim Caviezel.
Freedom.
With Jim Caviezel. I would highly recommend going to see that show. I think it's going to be primarily more on children, but it is rampant. It is rampant in our country. It's rampant worldwide. And I think that this movie will bring it more into the mainstream thought process. Therefore, there will be more people needing stuff like Terri does, or Barbara does, or I do. That we help people walk out of these traumatic situations. And a girl interviewed for one of our other shows was all about trauma. And
trauma.
Yeah, it was about trauma and how trauma can build and build and build. And it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. And she was a tragic wreck. That was the straw. And when it was put on, she went into full PTSD because of all the traumas from childhood.
Right.
You know, and there's traumas from childhood. I mean, you can't find your mom for 5 minutes and you're crying. You know, that's a trauma to a little baby. So,
I agree with you there.
In life. So if you're watching this show and you don't know your purpose, put it in the chat. Reach out to us. One of us can help you. One of us can.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like Carol and I we were talking this morning. That I used to think my purpose was this big, grandiose, worldwide thing that I had to do. It was like, how can I find my purpose? Well, it's not a matter of finding your purpose. It's like discovering your purpose, but it starts within you.
Yeah.
And one day I was finally just sitting down going, okay, what is my purpose? And now it's come down to 3 things. It's to serve God, to learn things, and then to teach others what I've learned.
Absolutely.
And Carol says this to me all the time. She says, yeah, you put everything that you learn and teach it to me in cliff notes, in bullet points. And
I will. I'll call her. I said, so you're taking that class, right? I said, do you have the cliff notes ready yet? Because, you know, on top of what I do here, I have the whole homestead and chickens and a peacock that's now nesting somewhere out in the nether reaches, and we don't know where. She comes home every day to eat. But anyway, you know, and just garden and all the things, and living 45 miles out of town. You know, people don't realize, but that every meeting that I go to, you add 2 hours to that meeting. People, I'm going to jump over here and do this, or I'm going to jump over this. Mine's not a jump. Mine's a day long trek. And so, because if I'm going to go to town and spend that gas, spend that time, I want to maximize my town time. So, you know, that is where that all comes in. It, you know, we all have to figure out how we do it. But God put our purpose in us. I mean, it's baked into us. It's like once you mix up that flour and bread and eggs and, you know, flour and eggs and, you know, the bananas and the walnuts. I baked pumpkin bread or banana bread yesterday. But you mix that out, you can't take it apart. I can't go and pull every bit of egg out. Every bit of flour or salt, it's in there. And that's the way our purpose is. When God baked us, when he knitted us together in our mother's womb, he knitted us with certain things, certain gifts and callings. So before we run out of time, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, Terri, because there are people listening that may want to reach out to you. And didn't you say you have a free gift for us?
I do.
We love
One of the things
We love free gifts.
One of the things I really want to share with the audience is that at any age, no matter what age you are, you can change, because there's things in your past that could still be holding you back today. There could be trauma in your life. There could be molestation. There could be just somebody that has made you feel like the scum of the earth, or that's their trigger. So you still have emotional triggers. And that's when I went on my journey, that's what I discovered. I had so many emotional triggers, and I was listening to lies of what people were saying who I was when I wasn't.
Right.
And so when that journey came to an end, I got to discover who I truly was.
Right.
Yes, but I can,
So
well, I know that I can name the name of the little boy who was mean to me in elementary school. Can you, Barbara?
Oh yeah.
It tends to always be some nasty little boy.
Yeah. My maiden name
through
was
school.
my name was Lunan. My
Ludman?
my maiden name. I used to get called Lunan,
Oh, no.
Lunan. And I used to get called Looney Tunes. Go ask Looney Tunes.
Oh my
Seriously.
goodness.
Well, see, I think
Oh,
And then in grade 6, I went from being this little short roly poly girl in grade 4 to the beanpole in when I was 12. I went from being 4'11" to 5'5" in 6 months.
wow.
So then I went from
did you
being Looney Tunes the roly poly to the beanpole. And they would
Wow.
call me, oh, Stretch, go ask Stretch. What? Seriously? Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Well,
been there, done that, you know.
we just identified
we all
some
have.
trauma with all of us.
Some trauma with
Yeah.
all of us.
So
I mean-
you have it. If you're watching this show, you have a trauma. Okay. So Terri, tell us
Yes.
about your gift and where we can find you.
Okay, I'm very excited about this gift. I thought I was going to give maybe a discount, but I decided in the kindness of my heart, I believe that every woman or man needs a chance to figure out who they truly are in life and no longer ask themselves, who the heck am I? So tonight, I would like to give a free complimentary coaching session with me.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yes, and that's a value
Cool.
of $120.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
I would,
that would be
and
awesome.
it could be personal development coaching, or it could be vision coaching if they have a business. Because I'm also a visionary coach. And
Cool.
so
Thanks, Terri. That's awesome.
Thank you.
now how to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Thank you. How to get a hold of me. My website is Terri Moore, and that's TerriMoore.life. LIFE. Yes. And they can also reach me at 317-201-8389. And they can
Cool
also
beans.
email me, but my email's so long, it's just better to really text me.
So, okay, so you can text to that number.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
This has been great, Terri. This has been great. So,
Yep.
Guys, this is valuable. This is valuable, and a coaching session with someone of Terri's caliber it is priceless. Actually, you know, the price she quoted is nothing compared to what you can receive out of it if you apply what she's going to teach you and what she's got. So,
yes,
please, if you're on Facebook, click or comment, like, and share. Be sure to give us a like. Be sure to comment and share it out. Share it to your friends. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, please. Comment. Give us a thumbs up, because that little bitty thing changes the algorithms, and share it out to your friends. So please, we're here to help. We don't monetize our channel in any way. So let it give you some value.
Mhm.
and tell your
Yeah.
friends about it. So
Yes.
we're so glad that you joined us today, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. So bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.